Hi everyone. The most valuable thing in life are not measured in monetary terms. The really important thing are not houses and land, stocks and bonds, automobiles and real estate, but friendship, trust, confidence, empathy, love, and faith. Today we have with us a wonderful young lady, well determined, by the name Dzenana Brkic. Dzenana, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm also good. Thank you for asking. We'll quickly go on for you to introduce yourself, Dzenana.
Okay. So my name is Dzenana Brkic. I come from Busovaca, a small town in Bosnia. I study here at IUS. I'm second year and I'm at the Department of English Language and Literature.
Excellent, Dzenana. Quickly, tell us how you got to IUS. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, I heard about IUS when I was in my high school. The principal of my high school offered me like a scholarship, 100 scholarship,
wow.
And he said that I can get one if I apply. So I applied and I got the scholarship, and that's how I'm here.
Fantastic, that's nice. All right, a little quickly, Dzenana, tell us about your personal life, your family life. How is it?
So my family lives in a small village near Busovaca. I have one sister, she's in her high school. My dad is a building constructor and my mom is a housewife. So like we are a small family, but we all get together and have a good time. Yeah.
And how often do you see your family?
Like every month. Yeah.
Every month you go back home?
Yes. It's close to Sarajevo. It's like 60 kilometers away from here, so it's not too far.
That's nice, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I heard, Dzenana, you were very good at cooking, so tell us a little bit about your cooking experience.
Well, I started cooking when I was in America. Yeah, that's another experience that I will talk about later.
Definitely.
I'm not really good, but I'm trying, you know. It's a little bit hard for blind people to cook.
Yes.
Especially at the beginning, you know. Or you need to learn some techniques that are, you know, good for you. So last year in September, we went, you know, a small group of people with disabilities from Bosnia went to a competition in Istanbul. It was like an international cooking competition where like people with disabilities from all over the world came there and, you know, cooked.
Wow, so tell us, so how did they do it? I mean, the cooking, I mean, people with disabilities, like you, for instance, how was it? I mean,
it was a really good experience,
yeah.
And, you know, I, together with two more people, made like a Bosnian type of meal. It was called base chorba, like begova chorba, and bread. We made bread. It was really good. You know, we, you know, shared the things that we will do. So.
And when you're cooking, like, do you have to feel what is around you, and how do you know what to put at the time? And
yes, before like I even start, I need to prepare all my ingredients, you know, on one desk, and then, you know, separate things like knives and spoons and everything on the other side. So I know where everything is. So like before I even start, I prepare everything.
That's nice, that's nice.
Yeah.
So like we were talking before, and you told me that there was one lady who actually was remarkable in her cooking because she was quite
extraordinary.
Yeah, extraordinary.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, she did what she did an excellent thing. Like she didn't have any arms.
Yes.
She was and she cooked with her feet. Like it was incredible. That's why they won, because it was really incredible. Because she would like sit on a chair and then use her feet to mix the thing in the pot, or you know, these things.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Believe me, listening to this, I get motivated. I get so, I mean, extraordinarily motivated. So, Dzenana, quickly, let's go on to your future plans. Tell me something about your future plans. Where do you see yourself to be in the next 2 or 5 years?
I plan to finish the university here and probably get into master's degree also. I want to be an English teacher.
Okay.
if I could, probably working with kids or in the high school. So that's my plan. Maybe it can change, but I'm going there, you know. I'm trying to succeed.
Excellent. And what are you studying here in IUS?
English language and literature.
English language and literature.
Yeah.
So at the faculty or at the department in English language and literature, do you have anything special to share with us? Like how do you go on with your studies? How do you write your exams? How do you correlate with the university?
Yeah, Allen department, I think it's really great. We have a small number of students, but we all get together, get well, and my professors are really helpful. They help me with anything that I ask. When I'm studying, I'm using my laptop, and there is a screen reader on my laptop. It reads everything to me. And my professors send me the books over email or give me the links to the PDF versions of the book, since it's easier for me to read it that way.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's great. I like that. And tell us, if you come into university, how do you find your way to your faculty, into your classroom?
Yeah, at the beginning, when I first came here, it was a little bit difficult because this big building is huge, and I had my courses in different classrooms. So when I first came, somebody had to show me the way around, and I had to learn these things. I needed maybe 10 days or something like that. It's a complicated process, but eventually I learned. I use white cane to get around. With the white cane, I can feel all the barriers in front of me. I can feel the pillars around here. I can feel the stairs, and yeah.
Someday I was sitting down here in the cafeteria, and I was watching you climb the stairs and come down the stairs, and it was so extraordinary. I was wondering how you were able to do that,
Yeah.
And it's so fantastic by you sharing this story with us. Okay, let's go quickly. Your social life, Dzenana. Tell us where do you go out to coffee like ordinary people, like just everybody does?
Yes, I want to say people that I'm a normal person. I have the same needs and wants like other people. I need to go out. I need to use Facebook. I need love and all of these things. So I have many friends, and I go with them to Bashchashia or to Ilija or anywhere, and it's really great. I have a good time.
Have you ever felt like being segregated, being differentiated from other people?
Yeah, sometimes I do, but I don't give up. There are some people who just don't have any understanding for you. They actually don't want to understand, and I just kind of stop even explaining myself to these people because they don't want to open their minds. And as much as I explain, they would not understand. These are special people. They just don't want to understand. So but there are less people who do not understand than those who do. So I'm not discouraged by their behavior. I just go on.
Have you ever felt challenged by any situation? Let's say moving from here to Ilija, going home. Have you ever felt any kind of challenges just on your way?
Yeah, there is a challenge with the tram, I always have to ask someone to tell me the number of the tram, and then I have to count the stations since there is no sound notification or anything in the tram. So sometimes I get lost, when I'm counting. So sometimes I go out on a totally different station. So I would say to myself, where am I now, But I always ask someone, and people help.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's fantastic. And do you think, in terms of IUS here in school, do you think the administration needs to improve something for people like you?
I think I'm the second one who has a disability here, the blindness, and probably people haven't learned so far, some things that we need. So I think we can improve it by, talking to people and saying what we actually need, because people cannot know what we need if we don't tell them.
Exactly. And let's say, in terms of technological devices, let's say, what kind of technological devices you use to actually help you or aid your activities around?
As I mentioned, I use my laptop and I use my phone. On both of the devices, I have the screen reader program, which reads everything to me. And yeah, I also use, there's one thing called Refresher Braille, and it helps me, like, I connect it to my iPod, and how it has a braille on it, and that's how I read it. I can explain the Braille now, sorry.
You can go ahead, explain the Braille.
Braille is a writing system for the blind.
Okay.
It consists of 6 dots, and all the letters and numbers are made of these 6 dots. So, like, they're combined, you have like a specific order of the dots for a specific letter. Like, the letter A would be the first dot, and then the letter C would be first and fourth, and so on.
I was astonished because yesterday I was chatting with you on Facebook, and I was wondering how this girl can find the keys and know the kind of messages that come in.
Yeah, I use the keyboard, and I know each key on my keyboard. So that's how I get around. Like, I have some comments, and I just press some buttons, and then I use the arrows and the control button and the tab button to get around on Facebook.
That's nice. That's okay. I mean, I also know that you like traveling, right?
Yes.
And I know you travel to USA.
Yes.
Okay. So now you tell me experience about USA, your life in US. That's okay. Exactly.
So there was a program called Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study.
Okay.
And American Councils is working with this program. The American Councils is one organization here in Sarajevo. And the staff from American Councils came to my school where I went, and they talked about this program. So, but I was like the first one who said, I cannot do this, but they encouraged me, and they say, okay, they said, come to the tests and see if you can do it. And since I really loved English, I passed the tests, and I applied, for this program, and I was accepted.
Wow.
I was like the happiest blind person in the world at that moment.
And out of how many students were you selected?
Like, there were, I think, 400 or 500 students, and 10 of us went there, and I was the one of them, and I was the first person with disability to actually go there from Bosnia.
So how long did you stay in USA?
10 months.
10 months?
Yeah.
That's almost like, let's say, a year.
Yeah, like a school year. I finished my my last year of high school there.
Nice, interesting. So how was life in USA? Like, concerning the relations with blind people in USA, and how is life here in Bosnia when you compare?
When I compare it, the life in USA, it's easier than here, since they have, the roads are accessible, and they have more technology to help us around.
That's interesting.
I had really great time because in their school, they had these systems where everything was, accessible to me, and I felt like really good, since in my school here in Sarajevo, the school for the blind and visually impaired, we are improving, but we are not like the USA.
Wow.
But I hope we will improve in the future.
We hope so too.
Yeah.
So you had a blind school, you attended a blind school.
Yes.
Here in Sarajevo.
Yes.
Wow, that's nice. So, like, the facilities there in Sarajevo, is it comparable to, let's say, the kind of facility here you have in IUS when you're going to write your exams and stuff like that? Do you have any challenges with that?
Well, it was different there because I used my Braille typewriter. The machine used to write Braille, and it was easier because I had books in Braille and these things, and I do not have them here. But professors bring exams on USB for me to do them on my laptop, and they offer any kind of help. So I can say I have many challenges here, but I overcome them, and afterwards I really feel happy, and I feel that I did something.
the good thing is that you are happy, and that's much important. And I'm really happy like you so finding your way here in IUS University, and you appreciate being here and the kind of life you live here is, I mean, up to what you expect. And let's talk a little bit about how you actually define beauty.
Beauty.
Yeah.
That's a tough question. Beauty for me, and now I'm not talking about physical beauty.
Yes.
I'm talking about beautiful, manners, beautiful soul, beautiful attitudes. The beauty for me is when I approach a person and I say hi and they say hi to me with a smile. The beauty for me is how people actually behave towards you, how people actually, kind of say to you the first impression is really important, I guess. And that first impression that people leave on me really leaves a trace, and that's how, I don't know, I hope I answered your question.
Definitely, I get it. I mean, it's more of like the inner feeling of somebody, how people approach you.
Yes.
Right? That's fantastic. That's nice.
Really, when somebody smiles to me, I can feel it, and it really makes my day.
Wow, like how I'm smiling right now, right?
Yes. I can feel that.
That is nice. So tell me, like, if you get down, like when you feel depressed, how do you get back on your feet? When somebody, or you go somewhere else and you feel like you've been segregated or you've been differentiated with other people, how do you get back on your feet? How do you go on with this kind of life?
Yeah, it happens, believe me, it happens a lot. But I come to my room and I sit down and I, kind of talk to myself. I say to myself, okay, this is the one bad thing that happened to you. But there are many other things that happen to you that are really good. And these good things and good people that happen to me in my life is what makes me going, And also when I look at my future, that's kind of what motivates me. I say to myself, you shouldn't give up. You have come too far to give up.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Tell me about your relationship.
Relationship?
Yes. Like, do you have a boyfriend? Are you into any relationship with him?
Yeah, I do have a boyfriend.
Yes.
And he's also visually impaired, but he can see. Yeah, he can go around without white cane and everything.
Okay.
He's also from Bosnia, but right now he's studying in Turkey. So.
Oh, I see. That's nice. And how long have you been together?
More than a year.
More than a year.
Yes.
That's nice. That's interesting. That's fantastic. Okay. Do you need someone to actually help you around? Maybe at your home, do you have somebody who helps you to do your work and stuff like that, who show you around your place? Maybe you come to IUS, there are certain places that you go and somebody needs to help you.
Yeah, at IUS, since it's really huge, sometimes I need help. Let's say when I go to canteen, I always need someone because it's so crowded and noisy and it makes me confused, when I go there. So there are a lot of things that I can do alone, like in the dormitory, since I live in the dormitory this year. I don't need any help since it's a small place, and I know the things around my room, and I know the things in canteen, so I go there also, and it's easier for me. But in the university, when I want to go to canteen or the copy center, I always ask someone to help me, and people are really willing, especially my friends. They always say, whatever you need, you can ask.
That's good. And there's sometimes people used to say people who are visually impaired have extraordinary sense of hearing and sense of smelling. Is it true?
Actually, it's a stereotype that people have about blind people. We are not born with better hearing or sense of smelling, etc., because we cannot see. But through our life, we kind of develop hearing and smelling and touching more because we need these things. We use these things, in order to kind of how to say, we cannot see, so we need the things that can add up to that.
Okay.
So, I developed my sense of hearing since when I'm standing somewhere, I have to focus on, I have to hear the cars, the people around me, I cannot see them. So
you have to hear them.
Yeah.
So you find it quite difficult when you are at a place when it's quite loudly and noisy.
Yes,
Stuff like that.
it's difficult since the sounds are mixing together and everything get confused.
All right. Tell us a little bit about how you managed to get here. From your childhood life, what kind of experience did you learn? What kind of things did you do? I mean, you know, concerning your situation, you're quite a little bit different from others. So what other needs do you have that made you to be where you are today?
Yes, so I want to start with that I was born blind. I was born during the war in Bosnia. So the situation back then was not really good, and even though I received 3 surgeries, they could not restore my sight. So at 6 years old, when I was 6, my parents sent me off to Sarajevo, even though I'm from Busovaca, to live in the dormitory in Brkic. That's where the school for the blind and visually impaired children is. So I was there the whole time, you know, my primary school and high school. So that's where I spent my 11 years, and then the 12th year of my school I spent in America, as I already mentioned. And then I came here.
That's good. And you like singing and reading, right?
Yes, I do.
So you can sing very good. Like,
I don't know. I've been in choir all my life in my school, or in my school here, also in America. I participated in, you know, singing activities and these things.
Tell us about your sports life. Any sports activity?
When I was in America, I participated in swimming and track, like running. Also, I participated in the sport for the blind called goalball. And goalball is like you have 3 people on each side, and you have a ball that has like some kind of bells inside of it, and you pass it, you know, and you try to score the goal, and you know, they say this sport is for boys, but I really like this sport, and I learned how to play it while I was in America. Right now I don't have any sport activities, but I hope in the future, since I really like it, I like swimming and, you know, walking, running. So.
Right. And when you're playing this sport, how do you actually know that you've scored a goal or something like that?
Yeah, this sport you have like a commentator, you know, and he announces when a goal is scored.
That's nice. Okay, let's quickly talk about how do you perceive lights, colors, stuff like that.
Yeah, right now, like what I have on my side is the light. I can see the light, and I can see the colors. So that's a thing that people probably don't know about me, and it kind of helps me, you know, especially when I'm in my room. It helps me like to see what I'm going to wear, like which colors and stuff like that. So that's the things that help me.
Nice. Tell me, how do people relate to you in iOS? How they relate to you now, and how did you think they should relate to you?
People probably have, you know, some prejudices when they see me, and because they don't know me. But I think all the people that have met me so far, you know, they relate to me like a normal person, you know, and I appreciate that. I love that. I want for people to think that I'm the same like them, although I'm not. I'm different in one way, but in all other, I'm the same. Like I have probably the same wishes, ambitions like they do.
They do, yes. Yeah. That's nice. That's okay. Well, that's nice. Let's see. For instance, if you go out on coffee or something like that in Bosnia or in Sarajevo, anywhere around, like, do people find it difficult, or do you find it difficult to socialize with other people, to have friends?
Yeah, I have gotten used to that, believe me. At the beginning, the first time I went out, I was like confused, and I wondered, oh, what people will say when they see me, you know? But over the time, I have learned to cope with that and actually not to care about that, you know? Because there are some people who will look at you like you're a total stranger, or like you're, you know, I don't know, a fool or something like that. But they should not discourage you, and they should not make you stay at home, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, listening to you, I feel motivated. I feel like, you know, some of us are really sleeping and we're not doing our best, you know. I feel like I need to do much, you know, because you are here and you're still looking good, and you're going on with your education, and I think you're doing better too in your examination scores. So, like, tell me, how is love with you? How do you feel loved? How do you feel sad? How are these things with you? You know, people actually see you to be a little bit different, and how do you correlate with these things?
Yeah, I just want to say that, as I already mentioned, I'm sorry for repeating myself, but okay. You know, I'm the same. Like, I have, you know, ambitions, things that I like, things that I don't like all other people. Yeah. So I want for people to look at me like you know, the person with equal emotions like that.
Tell us, like, okay, now you in your situation right now, okay? I mean, how do you feel about it personally? Do you think it would have been better off if you could see, or your life right now is much okay?
It would have probably been better if I could see.
Would it be any different?
It would be different. It would make my life so much easier, but believe me, I am happy with what I have now and what I have accomplished so far. I'm content with myself. I'm in peace with myself.
Excellent. That's most fantastic. That's most extraordinary. Now, before we go, I want you to tell people watching us today or right now, I mean, how is it to come back or to be who you are, like who you are, the kind of challenges you face? And I want people to know, like, what kind of advice would you share with people here?
Yeah. I want to say that, you know, I will give my example. Each morning when I wake up, I think, oh God, I have to go out now. I have to face the world, and it's difficult. But you should say to yourself, you know, there is a whole future in front of me, and there's, you know, what's the worst thing that can happen? You know, you should always pose this question. What is the worst thing that can happen? Like, I can answer, I can fall on the snow, you know, but that's the worst thing. I mean, and then when you think about it, it's nothing bad. You know, it can happen to everybody. Everybody can fall, everybody, but you should, you know, stand up and move on. And, you know, the most important thing is that you never give up. Whatever happens to you, there are always worse things than that.
Excellent, excellent. You've listened to Dzenana, and viewers, we have come to the end of our program today, and we are hoping to see you again next time on the next episode of this program. Stay blessed. Thank you.